Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner. Well, I thought that this Monday's video was actually going to be a flip through of this journal, but it's my flip flop journal. If you recall, it was going to be part 3, but I have so much to do in it, and I was gone for a week in Flagstaff, Arizona, and I didn't take any paper crafting with me. I took stuff to work on a slow stitch project. So you're going to see the start of my first bowl or vessel doing slow stitching. That is Monday's video, or when you see this, today's video. And then the following Monday will be the flip through of the flip flop journal. But before I get started, I want to answer a couple of questions and to thank some people. I'm telling you, a lot of people did enjoy my quick tip Thursday when I talked about different YouTube channels other than crafting channels. Now, Steph B Studio talked about History by Lenny. It's a channel about medieval and Renaissance fabrics. And everybody's suggestion that they gave me on different YouTube channels, I've subscribed to them because I don't even watch regular TV at all anymore. Terry gave me a lot of ideas. The Chateau Diaries, Stephanie's Grand Tour of Europe, felting, wool, mice, and cotton mice, just a lot of different things. So I subscribe to them. This gal who lives in South Africa, she said that the links that I had given on the description box in the YouTube Quick Tip Thursday, she said they didn't work for her. But I tried them on my phone and they worked just fine. So she thought it might be her internet. So maybe if you just type them in, you'll be able to find those. Ellen also had some great suggestions on organizing and cleaning YouTube videos. Lynn's Altered Arts, she also had suggestions on cleaning and organizing. And then Candace talked about a YouTube channel called Shannon Makes. Now, Carol had a question about scissors that you would use so that they would look like a postage stamp. And I'm going to just show you real quick the ones I use. These are just Fiskars paper edgers. She was talking about the ones that she has, and I believe the ones that she was talking about, they are called, they are these are the kind of scissors you use for fabric. My mind has left me on what the name of those are. It is a specific name. It will come to me. But these are what I use for just edging a piece of paper to look like a postage stamp. And she said that the ones that she had, they left too big of an area, but to me, that's just fine. If these are what you use, and if you do have a little bit of an area there that it just kind of looks funny, just use your vintage photo to just kind of color that a little bit. And I think those work fine. I have heard of some people just using a small punch and punching along the edge. I can't be bothered with that. That just takes way too much time. To me, these work fine. So I hope they help you out. And anyway, let's get started in today's slow stitch project. I'm up at my daughter's cabin, which is in Flagstaff, Arizona. It is 7,000 feet. I will be putting in some clips of my time here, especially this one thunderstorm that we had, and also of deer that are actually in her yard. Now, this is her sectional couch in the living room. They actually just bought the house a few months ago. So they're in the process of doing a lot of things to it. But one thing that I thought I would do for her is to make a vessel or a bowl type of thing for her to have on the coffee table in the living room, to hold, controllers and things like that. I'm going to turn around and show you some of the things that my son-in-law has put up thus far in the house. Like I said, they're just in the process of decorating it. But this is some of the tools that were his grandfather's. So it's a very rustic, they want it to be very rustic looking. And even like some of these things here, he's a hunter, so this is one of the things from an elk or something that he hunted. They do eat the meat. So isn't that beautiful? This is from the living room, and that's the beautiful view. There's also even a fireplace there. That's where I have been sitting the whole time and watching TV, watching YouTube videos, and sewing. But I wanted to show you. So I had packed a bunch of things to bring, but I didn't really know the color scheme. These are all the rejects, the things that are a little bit too bright. But let me go through here and show you what I've started with, or what my color scheme is, or the palette. So if you recall, I went to Fleur Wood's class and we did some needle punching. So this is the start of that piece. And then I've got some bits of lace, different colors of yarn, Australian alpaca yarn. I have gone through, so the base is going to be probably these old flour sacks. They are stained, but I have washed them. And so that is the start. This one right here may be the bottom of it. And then, so that will be laying on the coffee table, down on the coffee table, and then up on the top will be where I do the stitching, I think. So here's some of the things I have pulled out. Some ticking. This is Steph Francis silk waist. This is from my friend Vicky's, some buttons. Not necessarily will I do use all this, but I have it out, and it seems like it flows. This is also from Steph Francis. I have some of this stuff in my Etsy store, and so I have pulled that off. I did lay, so this is the throw pillow, that really nice dark blue. And so I have this thread. Now this one works good. I think that will be a nice color. It's variegated, and to me, this is a little bit too light. So I will definitely use the darker. And then I pulled out just little bits of fabric that I might use. Like I might just make yo-yos with that. Um, Here's some more fabrics. I may put a little bit of coffee staining on those, but those look nice. Do you see how that one light blue to the left is a little bit just too light? I know you're saying hi to people, but don't you dare touch my stuff. Do you hear me, little girl? And then these are from Fabric Roll. She wants to play now. And I think I'm going to coffee stain them, I think, just to kind of darken those up. These are little scraps of fabric that I had. Here's some upholstery fabric, Fiona, that I've cut up that I think works well. Here is a hanky, and I like that it's got a little bit of the gray there. Here's another hanky from my collection. This is some beautiful linen. It's made in Italy, but I bought it in Australia, and I thought that would be really nice to sew with. I have some felting things. Let's see. This is some like mulberry bark, and that I'll be able to stitch in and give texture. And then these are the threads. So of course, all our neutral threads, some of this I got from France, some of it's just DMC, some of it's I bought it in Italy. Then these colors I think go pretty well. Again, a lot of the DMC. These two are from my friend. I think no, it's maybe this one. Did you give me this one too, Christine? Christine Creates, or Create and Craft with Christine. She gave me those. Like I said, I will probably coffee stain a little bit of those. I had gotten this at the workshop in Australia, the Fleur Woods. This is some of my silk threads that I thought go well. So, anyway, that's the start of it. And again, lots of lace to tuck in and what have you. So, I need to think about construction of the vessel, but that's my plan. So, come along and join me, and hopefully, you'll learn something. We'll see how it turns out. I apologize for the glare, but I'm filming this in Flagstaff at my daughter's home. So I apologize for the lighting. Now, what I've decided to do, this is now the base of the vessel. And I'm going to do a lot of slow stitching here. So this is actually going to be the bottom of the piece. And then for the sides, what I'm going to do is cut this fabric right along this line here, so that this is going to be the sides of the vessel or the bowl. So it's not going to be that tall, but it is going to be pretty good size in width. I did want to take a moment and measure the base so you would know what it is. I am back in the Phoenix area, so it looks like it's just about 18 1/4 inches in diameter. So it is going to be a pretty good size bowl. The other thing I wanted to show you is how tall the sides were. And they look like they're about 4 inches. You'll see later on in the video where I show you how I'm doing the slow stitching to make this more um, sturdy. So this is some more that I was able to do, but I did want to show you how wide the bottom of the bowl was going to be. So I've got more than enough of this to have it be the sides of the bowl. And then what I'm going to do for the inside, which is what you will see, is this. And I'm just going to finish cutting this so I can show you. So this is an old feed sack or seed sack. It doesn't, it wasn't wide enough for this whole thing. There was some red in it and I didn't want the red. So my plan is to do this. And this is just, I'm not sure if I'm going to be using this white material at all. It may be just a template. But then once I'm done stitching everything for the bottom of the bowl, this is what you're going to see on the inside of the bowl. And then what I will probably do is probably not this material. I'm going to probably search through my scraps and find a different material or fabric that will be along here. So that's my plan. I think what I'll do now is I'll show you what I was going to do with this. Now this has been washed, and let's see, it was 150 pounds sweet clover. It was a product of Canada. And so I'm going to just cut along here because I do want this blue that is already here on the edge to be seen. I'll find something that actually this may go over there. We'll see. I'm hoping that this is not going to be too difficult to sew through. And I don't mind if it's a little wonky, if it's not completely even. Okay, so that's that. So then when the bottom of the bowl is all stitched, then I will slow stitch this. Oops, sorry. I will slow stitch, and actually what I'll do is this will be up at the top. I will slow stitch this and probably some kind of a blanket stitch, and I'm going to have to do some slits in here so that it takes the curve. But I think once I do a lot of slow stitching on here, it will hold the shape. And see, as I go around it, I'm going to have enough with this other piece to go on the other side. So let's just go ahead and cut that. So, like I said, I'm still in Flagstaff at my daughter's home, and I'm waiting. There's supposed to be a guy coming to put up 2 new ceiling fans in the living room. My daughter could get one to work, but she couldn't get the other one to work. So my son-in-law just bought 2 new ones. And this morning, it was so nice outside that I went out to the front and took care of weeds. Oh, a little interesting story about me. My grandmother, my mother's mother, her and her husband always had motels, just little mom and pop motels. And when I was, I think, 13, I went to go work for her, and I got $5 a week for helping her clean rooms. And I'm telling you, some of the people would leave their rooms like totally trashed. And her advice to me always was, when you leave a place, leave it better than how you found it. Now, my daughter's home here, it's beautiful, but I still have that philosophy. So I did yard work this morning for her and my son-in-law because I want to, I've been up here for the week, and I plan on leaving this better than when I arrived. So that's going to be the outside. I have more than enough for that. This is going to be on the inside. So, and what I did for this, oh, I didn't talk about this. So this is kind of some things that I learned at the Fleur Woods class in Australia. So this stuff is called, I think, monk's cloth. And you use this punch needle with, I think one was alpaca wool. This one was alpaca wool. And this was just probably something I got at Joann's. And so that just adds a little dimension. Now I'll probably put it back into the hoop and do a little punching here and maybe a little punching here. But I'm going to work on that coming up. But I just wanted to let you know kind of where I was in the process of making this bowl for my daughter. Well, you guys know that as you create on the fly without a plan, things change, things evolve. And I did add a little bit of the needle punching here. And then I went ahead and put some quilt backing here. And like I've said, my plan was for this to be the bottom of the bowl, meaning it would lay on the table like this. And then this piece would be the inside of the bowl. But I don't know. I'm, you know, give me your advice, you guys. And the reason I need some advice, and I may be changing it, is there is going to be so much detail work here. I mean, every space is going to be filled. And that's what we're going to want to see as you look at the bowl on the coffee table. This is pretty plain. So I may be switching it up. It doesn't matter at this point. Now, the other thing is I had showed you guys this that I was going to make and use as the edge of the bowl. But as I was like putting it here and doing a little test, do you see how it just kind of flops? It doesn't stay put. But when I do quite a bit of stitching, it gives it support. And I'm telling you, there'll be a lot of stitching and a lot of embroidery and flowers and doilies to make this stand up. So that's my plan. I just did a little bit of canthor stitching here just to see how it would give it some strength, because I don't think I'm going to put batting on the back of it because I want to see all this stitching. So that's where I'm at this point. Now, the last couple of minutes of this video is just some beautiful scenery up in Flagstaff of nature and animals, and I hope you enjoy it.
Where'd he go? Did he hide?
He's like, you can like barely see it.
But this one is close. He's just right in those people's backyard.
Mm-hmm.
My gosh. Let's see how far or how close I can get to these deer before they take off. Of course, Fiona will probably make them scatter. Yep. There they go. There they go. I got pretty close though. I really did.
So this is what we ran across as Fiona and I were headed to the grocery store.
Just crossing the road. Oh, I just love it here. Isn't that amazing? You guys are missing a good one. And of course, I was at the grocery store and had to come out in this weather. Look at it. So Fiona and I are able to take a walk every afternoon because it's so nice and cool.
And this is her favorite place to sit to watch deer. So I'm sitting in my daughter's sunroom. Unfortunately, I have to put towels there because the rain is coming in through the window. Thank goodness my son-in-law's already got an estimate to have all those windows replaced, but isn't this just beautiful to be able to sit here and watch the rain come down? It's just so relaxing. I was telling my son-in-law today as I was talking to him that I feel more at peace here in Flagstaff. I think it has to do with how beautiful and green it is, that it's cool weather, that, you know, I have all these beautiful pine trees. It's beautiful. I think the rain is starting to let up a little bit. If it starts heavy again, I'll show you guys. And I think I had shown you previously that that is right where I'm spending the week, sitting there stitching, and oh, Miss Fiona's just exploring my light, but she better not get my coat there. But just can't be more perfect. So here's just another small little clip of my sweet little Miss Fiona looking at the deer in the backyard. And I want to thank Mark and Giselle for letting me stay here. And thank each and every one of you for subscribing and following my channel and being my friend. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much I do appreciate it. So until Thursdays, Quick Tip Thursday, thanks and bye-bye.